What's up, guys? Welcome back. I want to do a quick first impressions video of the CKF, or the Custom Knife Factory Evo 3.0. This is a really popular knife. There's kind of a cult following around them. There's three versions currently: the 1, the 2, and the 3. This is the 3. They vary in size. I'm not sure what the size differences are, but this is definitely a full-size knife. Let's do some size comparisons. We've got the Spyderco PM3, quite tiny next to it, and the Spyderco PM2. So as you can see, this knife is larger than both of them, a little bit closer to the PM2, but still larger. So it's definitely a full-size knife. I'll get some actual measurements on it here. We've got a 1 3/4 inch blade and a 1 cut, or sorry, 3 9/16, and I said 3 3/4, right? Yeah, so it is definitely a full-size knife. It is titanium construction all the way around, with Damascus highlights on this one in particular, and an M390 blade with a sweet sheep's foot shape, with a very, very nice thin hollow grind. This would be an excellent slicer. And then it has this kind of swedge up top, which I think looks nice, and kind of a clip point / bowie for the front of it. It's a really good looking blade in my opinion, and has some really cool little features that I want to go over real quick. One is the pivot hardware size, and the rest of the hardware size, it is large. I love a large pivot. This is, I think, T15 at least. These are either T8 or T10. So those definitely pass my standards for what I expect out of hardware. Love seeing that. This feels like a heavy duty knife, and those are heavy duty pieces of hardware. Another thing is the external stop pins. I love external stop pins. It always feels very secure. You can see there's a pin in here, but that's actually not a stop pin. That's the drop pin to keep it from the blade from hitting the back spacer. These stop pins are very secure in there. This knife does not move whatsoever. This knife is also very focused on the ergos. It is made to be choked up on like so. It can also be held back here, but it feels definitely more natural to be choked up on like this. It's got a thumb hole for deploying, so it can be either reverse flicked or thumb flicked. You can roll it out. Definitely feels like it's made to be flicked though. It sits on crazy multi-row bearings, which is pretty nice. I'm more of a washer guy usually, but these bearings feel pretty solid. It is a little bit guillotine-y, so you have to be careful. That point of the blade right here, you can see, will dig into your nail if you drop it, but you kind of figure out pretty quick how to drop it and then give some pressure back on the lock bar so it doesn't hit your thumb. So if I can do it there, and then you kind of push it shut. It definitely can be dropped shut or shake shut. One shake, I think, is probably appropriate, but really good action all the way around, and really an excellent fidget knife, and feels robust. Good lockup, steel lock bar insert, over travel stop, guard. You can see on the inside, has some milling. It is still a really heavy knife. I'll have to weigh it afterwards, but I think it's around 5 ounces. I'll put it up on the screen what it actually weighs. But yeah, it's a heavy duty knife. Feels like it could be used really well and also fiddled with. One thing I noticed about this right off the bat is actually the size of the pocket clip. Maybe it doesn't really display on camera. I guess I've never noticed it when I've looked at pictures. This is the first time handling one for me, is getting this one in. This pocket clip is huge. It's hard to kind of show that by itself, so I'll bring in a couple of knives that are kind of comparable size. Look at the difference between the pocket clip on the Arius, which is almost identical in size to the Evo, and the Evo. It's like half the size. Another kind of comparable size knife to this that I carry frequently is the SNG. Maybe this might be a little closer to SMF, but the SNG pocket clip, if you line them up where they start, is also significantly smaller. I actually took a few photos of these knives in my pocket next to each other to show you what I'm talking about. I'll put them up on screen right now. and it kind of shows how ridiculously large this pocket clip is, and that's not a huge deal, but to me it looks a little goofy in your pocket. It looks like, especially with the Timascus, like, hey, look at me, I've got some cool pocket jewelry. I also, for shits and giggles, I'll throw up a picture of this knife in my wife's pocket. Women's pockets are absurdly small. It's not fair to them, but it looks extra goofy with the size of this pocket clip and the size of this knife in her pocket. Anyways, I'd say that the pocket clip is kind of the only negative thing I've noticed right off the bat. I do like this knife. I'm not sure if I'll keep it, only because as a collector, you know, you always have a rotating door. It definitely meets a lot of the criteria that I like, though. It's very flickable. It's very pocketable. It's a good size, but it doesn't sit too large in your pocket. Also the ergos. I love these types of ergos. Obviously one of my top carries is the Arius, which has a similar style ergos where you get to choke up right into that front choil. And lately I've been carrying the Strider that I just showed a lot too, which also has that choke up point, which I really enjoy on knives in general. So I'm not sure if I'll keep this knife, but I am definitely enjoying having it right now, and I'll kind of have it live on my desk for a while, see if it sticks with me or not. Let me know what your thoughts on these knives are. Definitely a cool knife. I understand the hype now. Let me know what your thoughts are of this knife in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.